What's new, Baker Creek? Whoa, 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 whoa. Baker Creek, Baker Creek. I've got flowers and lots of hours to talk to you about Baker Creek seeds. I love them. Let's take a look at what I got this month. I got tons of seeds from Baker Creek, and I am so excited to share my experience with you and all of the wonderful seeds, varieties that are out now. So exciting. So beautiful and wonderful. So many different things to choose from. Let's get to it and check out this Baker Creek seed order. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Baker Creek, Baker Creek. Look at this. How many packages do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed packages, y'all. This is crazy. But these have been all the way from November and December. So let's take a look and see what we have in this first. This is my oldest package. I put them in order by date. So this is the first one. Let's see what is inside. So I cracked this open, and it starts off with a little flyer here about their heirloom farm in Pioneer Village, which I can't get to because it's in like Missouri. It's very nice. The first variety we have here is called the Giant Bello Gourd. And I'm glad I opened this because I think I have this in my cart right now to buy some more. So yeah, I'll maybe take that off there. So this is the Giant Bello Gourd, which is an edible gourd. And it says prolific, easy to grow, edible gourd comes from Ghana, where it has been cultivated for more than 150 years. Best when cooked, it has an umami flavor like mushrooms. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Fruit can grow 2 feet long and 15 inches around, and vines thrive with minimal effort. I like that. I like the minimal effort. I like prolific. I like edible. That sounds awesome. And I've never tried this before. Sometimes you have to plant it and grow it yourself, or you'll never know what it's like. So that's one of the neat things. It's like I'm never going to get to go to Ghana, but I can experience something that they have there by growing it myself. And then after I grow it, I'm going to have to get some recipes, look at those up online, and learn some more about that, how to prepare it. This is called the Opera Bush Beans, and yes, I did buy it because the name is opera. Do you ever buy seeds just because you like the name? I actually literally bought this because of the name. So I'm like, yes, I don't sing opera. You guys, I'm sorry that I bothered you with singing my intro. I just thought it was funny. So we have these Opera Bush Beans. It's a dwarf variety, and it produces delectable, stringless, emerald-colored pods. Plants are robust and resistant to a range of diseases, which is very good. And they are productive with an open habit, making for easy harvest, which means you can reach in very easily to grab your beans. Uniform, slender beans, each about 4 inches long. Consistency of size is especially helpful if you like can and stuff. I don't do canning yet. I prefer to dry things if I can. Like if I do dry beans, this is going to be a like a green bean. I'm not going to, if I save the seeds, it'll be for planting, but this will be for eating as a green bean. Stringless gives it away, right? Stringless green beans. And then the other variety I purchased here, who knows how to say this? Vlathankara beetroot. And this is an amaranth. Ooh, isn't that pretty? It looks like it could be like an edible arrangement. Totally different kind of edible arrangement, right? And it says it's 90 to 100 days. The beet red foliage and exquisite flavor make this a favorite in India. It is a tasty, heat-tolerant alternative to spinach. Because, in spinach in the summertime, it bolts. It tries to go to seed, so it'll get really bitter. But this is something that will not do that. So it's very resilient and productive over a long season, which is very nice. So I got some more amaranth. And then the free seeds I got with this order, which is my oldest order, are these coral carrots. Anything special about them? 75 days. Okay. And those are generally a cool weather crop. Let's go ahead and pop into my second order here. To mention before I do that, that these seeds, this first seed order was $13.72, including tax. The beans, the upper beans were $4. The gourd seeds were $5, and the amaranth was $3.50, and the carrots were free. In this second order, I got Mitsuba Japanese parsley, which says it's 50 days. Is that 50? Am I reading that correctly? I need glasses. I'm wearing glasses. I need bifocals. Delicious Japanese herb, easy to grow and love shade. So that's great. So many times we're looking for like a shady crop. So it says it loves shade. Excellent. Similar to its cousins, parsley and cilantro, the leaves, stems, roots, and seeds are all edible. Wow, that's very versatile. Does not like excessive heat. Plant in a shady location and harvest in the cooler months. So you can take advantage of those cooler months in those shady spots. That can often be kind of like a little window of time that isn't very productive for other plants. So cooler time, shady areas, excellent. 50 days. So it's also very quick and then easy because you're going to direct seed it in the fall or in the very early spring. So I might do a little bit in the early spring and then a little bit more in the fall. It's kind of nice that you can succession plant or plant multiple crops. You can have a cool season crop. You can have warm season crops. A lot of new gardeners only do one garden, but you can keep that garden going over time. So Mitsuba, Japanese parsley, and that one, according to my records, was, how much was it? It was $3.50. And I don't know if it says how many seeds on here. It does right there. 200 seeds, which I think is a bargain. This here is Papalo, butterfly form. So that's kind of like there's different varieties. I got two different Papalos. One is the narrow leaved and one is the butterfly form. And the reason I got it is because the flavor is supposed to be like cilantro, but it has a sharper flavor and maybe more complex. And I've heard that it's like a stronger cilantro flavor, which if you don't like cilantro, maybe you try this. And if you do like cilantro, you probably will love it. Really weird story. I used to absolutely hate cilantro. There's this thing where some people think cilantro tastes like soap, and I had that. So like my entire life up until my, to 2020, I always had that soapy taste whenever I had cilantro. I got COVID, lost my sense of taste, and when it came back, like not everything matched up right. So some things tasted horrible, but some things that tasted horrible before started tasting good. And cilantro was one of those things. So it's kind of like a phenomenon, a little brain thing going on. But so now I love cilantro, whereas I used to hate it. If you like cilantro, pop a comment in the comment box below. And if you have that soapy flavor from cilantro, pop a comment too. That's interesting. Yeah, so supposedly it's genetic to have that flavor. So it's kind of weird that after having COVID and losing my sense of taste and smell, and I lost it for a long time. I lost my sense of taste for like a year. And it came back very, very gradually. Some things I used to love smelled like literal garbage. But I was very lucky with cilantro that taste came in, like I like it and it's healthy. So the Papalo is going to have a cilantro like flavor. If you like cilantro and you struggle to grow it for some reason, then you can try growing this instead. which I think is a great idea and a great alternative. I did not order this Kyoto red carrot, but I am not mad that this was my free gift. So they sent me the Kyoto red carrots as the free gift for this order. This was my second oldest order from November. I got 300 free seeds. It would have been $4. So if you want to make sure that you get it, you'd have to buy the Kyoto red. Every once in a while, I'll buy a seed packet, and then the free seed packet will be the same thing, which also doesn't make me bad because I just basically got twice as much of something that I know I want. But I can't guarantee what you're going to get on your free orders or your free seeds. But this looks great, and yep, they're going to need light fluffy soil. If you get really wonky looking carrots, probably need to have like lighter, fluffier soil. You want good drainage, and carrots tend to do better as a cool weather crop. So planting it late summer, fall, and winter. So do not plant it. Don't waste your seeds planting it in April or May for carrots. Especially this variety. It says if not for planting in spring. So like I said in one of my other videos, I want to start organizing all my seeds by time. So like it'll be by variety and stuff like that too, but then by time. Because sometimes, like you're looking through thousands of seed packets to find which one you're going to plant in April. Which one are you going to plant in September? So I'm going to organize it by planting date. And I've been working on this Excel spreadsheet of like planting dates, staggering times, and at some point I'm going to share that with you all. Maybe when I meet some more milestones and I get monetized. But that would be a really cool thing to share with you guys. So this order here came to a total of $13.72 for the Mitsuba, Japanese parsley, the 2 different varieties of Papalo, and then I got the free Kyoto red carrots. On to package number 3. So you're going to wonder why I spent over $100 on mostly lettuce. I'll tell you that after I go over the varieties. But I have a really compelling reason why you should really stock up on your lettuce seeds and why you should stop buying it from the grocery store. It's pretty shocking. So here's my order. Got the little flyer. It's adorable. Wish I could go to some of their events. This is the Yeticule lettuce. And I'm not going to go into all the information about planting lettuces, but most lettuces you want to plant in cool weather. If it gets hot, they're going to bolt. They get bitter when they bolt. They're still edible, but they're just not as tasty. Tom Thumb lettuce. Okay. Hao Shan lettuce. Probably saying that wrong. Hao Shan. Tennis ball lettuce. Devil's ear lettuce. Brown gold ring. Chinese narrow leaf, which looks very much like the ancestor of lettuce, the wild type. Lettuce de Russie. Pablo. Paris Island. Spotted Aleppo Syrian. And excuse me if I'm mispronouncing any of these. They're not all in English, obviously. Outrageous. May Queen. Yes, Queen. May Queen. Now, this is not a true lettuce. This is miner's lettuce, which is what kept the 49ers from getting scurvy. So, very high in nutritious, high in vitamin C. They actually taste very nice. They don't look like this at every stage, but the flowering stage, it looks like almost like a lily pad with the flower in the middle. But Claytonia is very good, especially when it's in the younger stages. But it's very, very nutritious, high in vitamin C. And it's not lettuce, but they call it, it's nicknamed miner's lettuce. Gustav's salad lettuce. Bronze Beauty. Lots of antioxidants in those dark colors. Crisp mint. Who doesn't like a nice crunchy lettuce? This one is called Celtis, which is actually, the stem is edible too. And then corn salad. This is not true lettuce. It's also called Mache, Mache, I believe. And that is a great crop, but it's not lettuce, but similar. Black seeded Simpson is really great. I would say black seeded Simpson has done the best for me. It does tend to get really bitter in the summer months, but it has been very prolific, and for years I didn't have to plant it. It would just pop up on its own. But now I've got a lot of birds that beat me to the seeds. So, well, I should say I gather the seeds, but like I would normally have volunteers, but generally the birds, there's so many birds and they do like the seeds a lot. So when you see them bolting and getting seeds, you might want to cover the seeds like in a little tool baggie, so that the birds don't get every single one. It's okay to share with the birds, but I do want to have some for the next year. Black seed Simpson, they seem to go pretty wild, and I like that about that variety. Little Gem, you can also get black seed Simpson seeds sometimes from the Dollar Tree, but it's hit or miss. They don't always have it, and they only have it during certain times of the year. Little Gem lettuce, which it's kind of a novelty, kind of gourmet. Ice Queen, more Ice Queen. I guess I got more than one. Landis Winter, Chadwick's Rodin, Lunix, which, oh, isn't that pretty? Gorgeous. Merlot. I've got more Merlot at home, but I was buying every variety they had. Basil leaf lettuce, so it looks like basil, but it is a lettuce. They also have lettuce leaf. Hold on, no, this is actual, hold on, this might be basil. This one is basil. Okay, so this is not a lettuce. This is basil, but I did buy some other leafy greens besides lettuces. Merveille des Quatre Saisons. Okay, we'll call it MDQS. Okay, so this MDQS looks very pretty. Flashy Butter Gem. Love the speckles. That's pretty. I did buy some salvias, which I did buy for the birds or for the humming. Oh, I didn't know, this one's free. I thought I bought some just like this. Okay, I was going to buy some for the bees because my salvias are so attractive to hummingbirds and butterflies and bees. And this one was free. My lucky day. Because I thought I bought some of these recently. Huh. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. These are perennial. Love it. Perennial. That means it's going to come back from year to year. It's going to be perennial in my zone, which is zone 8. And I love that it attracts hummingbirds because I've got lots of hummingbirds living in my property and they need wild food, not always relying on my feeders. This bok choy was also free. I've bought it before. I haven't been very lucky with bok choy. If you have any hints on how to get them to grow better, pop a comment below. But whenever I've grown bok choy, and it's not just Baker Creek, so I think it's me, but whenever I've grown bok choy from lots of different seed vendors, they grow to this little sprout and then just stop. So if you have a secret, please pop it below. Genevieve's basil was free, and I have like so many varieties of basil. It's exciting. I had so many growing this year. It was just delicious. And then I got arugula. Okay, so I promised you I'd tell you why I spent over $100 in what's mostly lettuce seed, and you will be totally shocked by what I'm going to say. You probably won't believe me. I actually read an article, and I will link some resources in the description box about it so that you know I'm not making it up. Not that I would do that, but you're watching people on YouTube, so you don't know if someone's making stuff up. But I read an article about lettuce, and it might not be the same article that I post because I'm going to have to research it again to give you the link. But I read about lettuce and how I want to say it was somewhere like Tennessee or something, someplace like that, wanted to do some weird stuff with lettuce And that state said no. It was like either Tennessee or Kentucky. They're like, no, you can't do that here. So the company decided to send it to California, I believe. And the premise is that they are going to be putting vaccines in the lettuce. So they've been trying for a while to see if they could do a food-based vaccination instead of injections. And mostly because it sounds like, there are some people who opt out of vaccinations. And so basically they're trying to force people to get vaccinated by putting it in their food. And even though like a person might eat a few pieces of lettuce on a hamburger or a sandwich, or they could eat a whole giant bowl of it as a meal. So dosing to me, even if you were okay with it, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Even if you were okay with it, with eating your vaccines, dosing seems to me like it would be extremely problematic, because you might have somebody getting just a little bit of a vaccine, which is enough to tease your body maybe and like not actually have a benefit, or you might overdose on your vaccine if that's a thing. The other thing is, if you are buying lettuce for the purpose of eating a meal and you aren't aware that you're getting a vaccine, you might be getting a vaccine that you don't agree with taking. So there's no medical consent. You're not consenting to it. Dosing, consent. And then also, what if you're getting a vaccine through your food that you're also getting as an injection? That seems like there could be a little bit of overkill here. I really don't love it. My other concern is cross-pollination, because if they are growing lettuce in California that is being medicated this way, which they are, this is something that's actually happening now. So they are moving forward with it. It's going on right now. And so the lettuces that are coming out of California, which is where we get a lot of our lettuce, the genes could be contaminated, which also means the seeds that are being produced out of California could become contaminated. And then the whole seed supply could eventually be contaminated with genetics that contain, this is crazy, vaccines. And they were actually trying on many different types of plants. And apparently lettuce seems to be the one that it works with. So they've already been experimenting, and who knows how controlled their labs are, or if it's outside, or if it's already being like introduced into the seed supply. So wherever it happened, if it was Kentucky, I want to say it was Tennessee. So if they were already doing this in Tennessee to try it out, which they must have because they know it works, then the genetics of the lettuce that has been growing there has already been polluted. And now the lettuce genetics in California is being polluted by vaccinations. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I want to make that clear. Like we got polio vaccinations. We've gotten all different kinds of vaccinations, chicken pox, all that kind of stuff. But I don't agree with forcing people to take some kind of medication, especially if they don't know the dosage. And they're not giving their consent. I also don't agree with growing it in food, that now they've changed the DNA of the plant, and it could be something that could cross into people's crops that they're not intending it for. So this video really isn't about that, but that was my rationale on buying all this lettuce, because I'm going to grow my own lettuce, and None of my neighbors really garden. They like buy flowers from the store and then throw them away every year. So I'm not really concerned that these will be cross-pollinated from my neighborhood. If I start seeing my neighbors wanting to garden, I'm going to give them some of my seeds so that I don't get things cross-pollinated. That's another thing too with your neighbors. Like if you're against like GMO, Monsanto kind of stuff, which I am 100% against. Like I understand the rationale behind it of like trying to feed the masses, but making wide sweeping decisions that affect the entire world, that's really scary. It's like you're putting all of your eggs in one basket, and possibly losing the genetics that has been proven over thousands of years to be the best. And I also think it's playing God quite a bit. So, but lettuce, we already know that corn is an issue, right? So most corn now you get from the grocery store is GMO. Wheat, GMO, soy, GMO. Like it's almost impossible to find soybeans that are not contaminated with GMO, because even people growing them now who have been growing them as heirlooms, there's just so much out there that there could be pollination issues here. Now we have to be looking out for lettuce. So corn, soy, wheat, those are all have issues now. You've probably heard about the purple tomatoes. I believe that was from Burpee. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I'm not trying to put down any companies. I don't have any kind of vendetta, I just am really concerned about making huge, crazy, drastic things. Now, is it interesting? Yeah, it's interesting. Like the idea of reviving a woolly mammoth is interesting. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. We probably don't have the resources for a woolly mammoth. And we also don't have a way to ensure that those lettuce seeds are not going to cross with people who have gardens who are growing heirloom varieties. So I went out to Baker Creek and I bought one of every type of lettuce that they had. And I already have lettuce seeds, but I am not going to not have salads. But once, pretty much I don't want to buy lettuce from the grocery store anymore. So this needs to be something that we do. Salads might become a thing that we only can have in the spring, and I'll be really sad if salads become like an only spring, early fall crop for me. But I just love salads. They're like my favorite. But if there's a risk of eating, we already have E. coli issues, E. coli outbreaks and things like that from farms there's drainage off from cattle and stuff going on to these other farms. So there's already a risk of E. coli from the farm, especially the mixed lettuces that are like diced up in a bag together. The chances of getting E. coli from those bags are much higher than if you have the full head of lettuce. So if you're going to try to avoid that, you might go with the whole head of lettuce. But growing your own is a great way to prevent getting sick, but also getting medicated without permission. So, and like I said, I will post in the comments in the description box proof of what I'm talking about. I'm not making this up. And whenever I'm not reactive to things, if I hear something, I might initially go, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But then I'm going to look it up and I'm going to find out for sure before I say it to anybody else, because I don't want to be a fool with my foot stuck in my mouth and running my mouth, not knowing what I'm talking about. So I did a lot of research before saying this to you guys, but I spent over $100 on lettuce seeds for that reason, because I do not want to eat food that has the COVID vaccine stuff in my lettuce. I don't want to eat that. So it doesn't sound appetizing. And I have my concerns are multi-level. Like I said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I don't believe in that one. I don't think it works. I don't think it was ethical, that it was forced on people. That should be somebody's individual decision if they want it, and you shouldn't have to eat it. So I'm got my lettuce seeds ready to go for ever, I hope. And that, like I said, the best one on here I think is the black seeded Simpson, in terms of, like, it's so easy and it's so prolific. It grows like a weed, which is something to think about if you're a new gardener or you don't have a lot of time and you want something that's going to reseed. Let's get into the next package. No more political talk. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. Next order, I must have been in my it needs to be beautiful mood. This is Coleus Pinto Mix. So it's going to be a variety, like a little bit of a surprise. I don't usually buy mixes. I usually like to know exactly what I'm getting, and I'll get all of them, but separated, because I'll be able to say this one's going to be purple, this one's going to be green, whatever. And oh, this one's a free one. I know I bought some though. You know what? It's been my lucky day, honestly, getting a lot of free seeds that I know I've also ordered. Because I know it's something I want. But this one was a free packet. Can't guarantee you're going to get this one as your freebie, but it was a free gift. It's it says intense splashes of rainbow colors paint a gorgeous picture in the garden. This old-fashioned plant is perfect for shady spots. There we go again. And is also great for containers and borders. The heart-shaped leaves come in many bright colors, evoking the spirit of Victorian gardens. Okay. And it does say starting them early. And okay. So it does say pinch to encourage branching. Oh, that works too if you want to do that same thing with basil. If you pinch off the top, it will branch out more. This is Dianthus Black Adder, which, black flowers or almost black flowers are very rare in nature. So when I saw these, and I like the foliage, it looks really interesting. I love that foliage and the flower color. It's a short-lived perennial, which means it will probably grow a few years. Love it. Early to bloom, versatile, green pom-poms, purple and black flowers. And sow seeds indoors. So this is going to be one to start inside. And then we have the Blueberry Swirl Phlox. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that shade of purple. Annual, luscious blueberry violet petals, marbled with cream, transform any space, and the edible blooms. This one says edible flowers. Add a splash of color to salads. Low growing and great for containers, hanging baskets, and pots. Easy to grow. Make sure you know which of your flowers are edible and which part of the flowers are edible, because sometimes it's the stamen, sometimes it's the petals, sometimes it's the calyx or calyx. Sometimes, it's the whole plant. So make sure you know what part, and I haven't had these to eat yet. I'll let you know what we think about them, but I think that would look really pretty in a spring roll. And then this is columbine, and I am in love with columbine now. I didn't used to grow it, and I got a few plants from a churchyard sale, and I love them so much that I had to go and buy a bunch of columbine seeds because they are just so pretty, and they are perennials, which I love. I love things that you can plant once and then forget about it, and then it grows back again, or it will self-seed. So perennial. I love that also it says sow seeds in place in fall or winter. So I could actually plant those now. So if you want something you can plant right now, you could get the columbine and plant them out in a pot. Make sure it has good drainage. And it's kind of sad. There's not something to plant all year long, but you can plant some columbine right now. Now they're not going to sprout until spring, but at least you'll have it in the ground. Make sure you label it, because by the time spring comes, you might think that pot is empty. Let's go ahead and get into another. Yes, there's more. I'm not done. I have two more containers here. I'm going to go ahead and rip them both open at the same time if you don't mind, because I know that this is going on for a while. Let's go ahead and look at both of them at the same time. So both packages, coincidentally or not, were $12.62 each. And the first package here I have are Beets, Winter Soon Beets. And now I like the, I know I love the golden beets. They're so good. I remember one time I left them over winter, so they're actually like they're biennial, so they'll flower the second year and go to seed. And I pulled one out of the ground, like rinsed it off with a hose, and I took a bite of it, and I was like pleasantly surprised. It tasted like a little bit earthy, not very earthy considering it's a beet. So a little tiny bit earthy. Tasted kind of like a carrot apple. I was very impressed with the flavor. I know I would love it in like stews and soups and things like that. Anything that would be good with potatoes or carrots would be great with the golden beets. And I am hoping that Winter Sun or Winter Soon will be similar to the golden beet. And, you know, the greens are also edible with beets. Beets are the same thing as Swiss chard. Swiss chard is just grown for the greens, and the beets are grown for the root. Swiss chard will have a very spindly, little, pathetic root. And the beets will have not as big or luscious leaves, but the roots and the leaves are both edible. So if you're not sure if you have enough time for your plants to grow to maturity, you can still plant them. And you can harvest and eat both the root and the leaves. If you eat too many of the leaves, then the tubers will not, or the roots will not get that big. Another thing I like to do with beets is plant like 3 to 5 in one hole. I know, it breaks the rules. Watch Charles Dowding. 5 seeds in one hole. And then as they start to get about the size of a radish, they'll start to push against each other. Then pull out like 2 of them. And then they will grow and fill up that space, and then pull out another one. And then eventually you'll only have one left, and it will be really big. But they grow, I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why they grow better this way, but they do. 5 beets seeds in a hole. Technically, beet seeds are fruits, and you can technically get more than one beet from one seed. Well, it looks like a seed. It's actually more than one seed. But I've never had that happen for me. I've always had one seed or one little fruit that you put in the ground. That actually has only ever given me one beet. But technically it can happen. So you might plant 3 seeds and get 4 beets. My experience has not been that to be the case, but scientifically speaking, it can happen. You can have more than one plant come from one seed. I've actually had a few trees where I got 2 trees from one seed. I grew some ice cream bean seeds from somebody I got from, I think they lived in Maui. And most of them had 1 seed, 1 tree. But I had a few twins where I actually had 2 trees from 1 seed. It was insane. But so beets are wonderful. And you don't just have to have them like canned beets. Okay, it's not the same thing. Having the beets like this, I think roasting them would be delicious. Another thing I would recommend getting are rutabaga seeds. I love rutabaga. I don't know why people don't eat it more in the United States, but it is totally delicious. And I would even go as far to say it tastes better than a potato. It has more of a flavor than potatoes have. And they're just so delicious, and they last a long time. So these here don't have the covers, which makes me sad. But I'm going to pop a picture somewhere on here to show you what they look like. This is the Sahara kale. So put a picture here. Don't forget, put a picture there. The Sahara kale. And then this one here is the Dune Yellow Marigold. So I'll put a picture somewhere here of Dune Yellow Marigolds. And who doesn't love marigolds? They're just so versatile. They're really good at preventing nematodes, like harmful nematodes in your garden. I also like to grow marigolds with my tomatoes, especially the small ones. Some marigolds are huge. You have to know which variety you're planting because some grow really, really big. And pot marigold is a different plant. It's calendula. Pot marigold is a totally different plant. French marigolds versus pot marigolds. Pot marigolds are actually calendula. This is White Beauty Amaranth, and I'm in love with amaranth. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my gosh, is that balsamic vinegar? It almost looks like the stalks look like mozzarella with that looks like balsamic vinegar or balsamic syrup. That looks good. I wonder if that's good. I bet it is. 90 to 100 days. Okay, South India. Pearlescent white stems. I love the color contrast. Sometimes with the white, it can kind of, a lot of the plants that I find, might look a little bit dingy. But who cares? It's food. Striking, also tender and tasty, ideal for stir fries. Some things when you cook them changes the color. That's really fun. I have some potatoes. They're called blue potatoes, but when I cut them open, they were purple. But when I fried them, they turned blue. That was crazy. It was kind of like a science experiment. When we cut open the blue potatoes, they looked purple, and we cooked them and they turned blue. What the heck? Love it. Okay, requires full sun. I'm going to be growing lots of amaranth. If you want to save seeds from them, then you just make sure that you harvest all of the leaves so that it doesn't go to flower. Because if they're going to flower at the same time, they could cross-pollinate with other varieties, and you want to keep your heirloom seeds pure. Okay, so, you can do whatever you want, whatever. But if you want to know that this is White Beauty, then when it flowers and you want to save seeds from it, you don't want, like garnet or a Love Lies Bleeding flowering at the same time. These here, I'm going to insert pictures as well. This is a Morning Star, Deep Rose, Amira Maritima. I think that might be the same one. I bought 2 packages of that one, I remember. And then here are my seeds. They were free. The coral carrots that I got before. We love carrots, so it's totally fine that I got duplicates of those free seeds. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a little tired of people complaining about free seeds. Like, it's free, man. You don't have to get it. Like, most seed companies don't give you anything for free. So I love it. I love that I got these. I'm not going to be picky, but I see some people who say kind of mean things like, come on, Baker Creek, give me something different. But I'm like, dude, I'm just grateful that they gave me what they gave me. So, yum. So I've got tons and tons of seeds here. I don't need this container anymore, the packaging, but I have lots of receipts. But look, Papalo, carrots, more carrots, amaranths, more Papalo, gourds, all kinds of lettuces and lettuce alternatives, because you know why. Not because I'm a conspiracy theorist, but maybe a little bit. Not really. I'm a realist, and I've got just so many seeds here, you guys. I'm so happy. I am very, very tickled about these. On my next video, I will be either doing another seed reveal with, like, I have my gardener seeds, but I was also thinking about doing a video possibly comparing. This is the free seed catalog that Baker Creek gives out. And I don't always buy the whole seed catalog, but I did. So if you want me to do a short video, I won't go too crazy, maybe like 10 minutes, at least 8. I can do a comparison on these 2 catalogs. There's the free one and then the one that we pay for. And talk about maybe some varieties that I'm interested in growing and compare, like, what's the difference between these 2. Obviously, you can see visually that one's a lot bigger than the other one. And so forth. So if you bought this, we could also discuss like which varieties we're interested in. You could say what page number something is on. You could do that one with this one too. Just let me know. Say this is the free seed catalog page, whatever, or this is the whole seed catalog page, whatever. And then we could discuss in the comments different varieties that we're interested in growing. And I like to save these from Baker Creek. I don't save all my seed catalogs because that's a lot. I do turn seed catalogs into seed packets. And I used to make them into collages. Like this one here. I don't mind Johnny's. I don't mind other companies. I just have my favorites. And I know how I'm working, how I get things from Baker Creek. I get free seeds, all this good stuff. So I don't know about that with Johnny's. So I'll probably make this one into seed packets. And it's kind of nice if I can find, if I'm going to do a seed packet for lettuce, I might use the lettuce page for my lettuce seeds. I'm going to put in the comments a link to my video that I made, I think it was like last year, on how I made a bunch of seed packets using magazines like this. And hopefully you'll watch that video while you wait for me to either post a video about my gardener seeds that I've been purchasing. I also bought some other ones. I'm kind of going crazy on seeds, you guys, because I'm really concerned about what they're doing to our seed supply, and there might be a point where you're not going to be able to get seeds that are not tainted, like the purple tomato seeds that are bioengineered, and the GMO soy, corn, and now the actual vaccine-ridden lettuce. So, but I'm going to make some, I'll go ahead and post the video link for the seed packets that you can make. Just make them out of these magazines. Thicker paper works better. So like if I wanted to use the covers work really, really well. If you have a seed catalog where the paper is really flimsy, you might use it like to collage over like a piece of regular paper. But they turn out really pretty. I like that about them. But if they're really thin, they can be kind of flimsy. So the cover pages are great. And you might like glue this down on top of a regular piece of paper and like really glue it. And then that would work really well too. So I like all those kind of quirky things. Go ahead and make your comments below. What did you think of my seed haul? Are you interested in maybe doing a comparison between the whole seed catalog and the free catalog? Are you interested in talking more about GMO bioengineered plants? So your comments below are very welcomed. I won't be offended. Just be nice in how you say it. It's totally okay with me. Like, we can have differences of opinions on certain things. I do allow that. Just be kind. So, like, don't call me a fool for thinking that there's a medication in lettuce. I know that's a fact, actually. That's something that they're working on. But I'm going to post those resources because I'm not making it up. And you can see for yourself that is a risk to our seed supply. So you might want to go out and get some, even if you already have some lettuce, you might want to go to Baker Creek and maybe buy some more varieties. Because who knows what's going to happen to the lettuce genetics in the future, especially since they found out that lettuce is really conducive to the research that they're doing. It's much more likely they're going to be using lettuce as a carrier for medications and other things like that. They tried some other species of plants that didn't work very well. So since lettuce does seem to work really well for that, I would be very concerned. Make sure you go out and get some lettuce seeds today. Like, really do it. Anyway, guys, you know what I like to say at the end of my videos. Hopefully you thought this was fun. Sorry I sang to you. I know I don't have a good singing voice. I'm not in La La Land. I was just having fun. Anyway, be good, be sweet. Grow a garden if you want to eat. And I will see you next time. Ciao.